So you want to change and level up your life, huh? Obviously, I know that about you because you clicked on this video. But another thing that I know about you because you're here is the fact that you're totally capable of creating the life that you desire. I mean, out of all the places that you could be, out of all the things that you could be doing with your time right now, you're here. You're learning and trying to figure out how you can live your best life. Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about here today. 5 ways that you can start to transform your life now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Lifehack Show. I'm your host, Justin Aldridge, and today we're going to chat about some actionable things that you can do to start changing your life right now. But before we dive into that, I just want to remind you, if you're enjoying our content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And also, if you're someone who's serious, I mean real serious about transforming your life, I want to tell you about a great tool that we've created for you here at Lifehack. It's our 3-step guide to break free and live the life that you want. Click on the link above or down in the description below to go and download this resource to have with you as you start to transform your life. Now, with that being said, let's dive in. All right. Now, before we dive into talking about the 5 ways that you could transform your life right now, I want to tell you real quick why it is that I'm so passionate about these things. And I want to take you back for just a moment to October of 2012. I had been going through this personal health journey where I was dealing with a lot of physical symptoms in my body, and I had been seeing a lot of specialists, a lot of doctors, being checked for a lot of different things, and nobody could really figure out what was going on with me. And on this particular day, I was sitting in a hospital parking lot holding a piece of paper in my hand, and on that piece of paper were the results to let me know whether or not I had a brain tumor and whether my life was going to completely change. So as I'm sitting there and I'm shaking uncontrollably, I've got tears streaming down my face, I remember making a deal with myself that if the results of these tests came back negative, that this was going to be my second chance at life. This was going to be the opportunity for me to change my life now. And as I unfolded that piece of paper and I saw the results, and that they were negative, and that I didn't have a brain tumor, I didn't have MS, I realized that everything that had been going on in my life up until that point, all the struggles that I had been facing for those several months, were the results of my mind and me not taking control of it, me not cultivating the sort of mindset and actions that I wanted in order to create the life that I truly wanted to be living. So I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I used that moment as the turning point in my life, as the catalyst for change, for me to then change my life. And it was from there that I started taking action on implementing these 5 things and some others in order to be able to completely transform my life. Now, with that being said, I want to share with you 5 things that you can do to start changing your life now. Number 1 is get clear on what you want. See, part of the reason why so many people are unfulfilled, they're unhappy, they're dealing with all this struggle and strife in their life is because they've never taken the time to actually get clear on what they want their life to look like, what it is that they desire to accomplish, to achieve, for their legacy to be. All those questions that we hear asked, so many people, the vast majority of people, if you're asking me, never take the time to answer those questions. Yet we wonder why the vast majority of the population are unfulfilled. And the mental health crisis has really reached epidemic levels where people are dealing with anxiety and depression at higher levels than any other time in history. This question right here will allow you to really start taking the actions in alignment with the destination that you desire to get to. Most people are just walking aimlessly through life. They're trying to get to a destination, yet they've never defined what the destination is. Well, I know what you're thinking. That probably sounds ridiculous, and it is. But yet that's exactly what most people are doing. They're never taking the time to get clear on what they actually want, and they're wondering why they're unfulfilled, why they're unsatisfied. If you truly want to live a great life, if you truly want to live your best life, you've got to take the time to slow down and to answer the question of what do you actually want in your life? What do you want your life to look like? Because once you can answer that question, then you've got a filter through which you can ask yourself, every action, everything that you are doing in your life, is it in alignment with what it is that you truly want in your life? It makes life so much simpler. Most people are just taking actions, never knowing how that's impacting the ultimate destination of where they're going with their life. But if you can answer this question first and foremost, you're already setting yourself up to be able to clearly distinguish between whether or not something is a good action or if it's a unproductive or bad action in relation to the ultimate destination. So the first step is getting clear on what you want in your life. The second thing that you can do to transform your life now is to set new goals. Most people don't set goals at all, or at least if they do set goals, they don't go through the right process. They don't go deep enough with setting goals. They set these vague, ambiguous goals because they feel like they need to. Most people set goals from a place of obligation because it feels like what we're supposed to do in life. But if you're here, you're watching this, you really do want to live your best life. And if you do, you've got to make sure that once you have clarity on what you want in your life, you need to set goals that are in alignment with that ultimate destination. So let's say, for example, if what you want in your life is to be happy and healthy, well, then you know that you need to have some sort of physical fitness goals that you're striving for constantly. Because we all know growth isn't a one and done type of thing. It's a lifelong pursuit. Same thing. Let's say, for example, if you had a financial goal that you really wanted to achieve, that's what you wanted your life to be built upon, was financial abundance, then you need to make sure that you are constantly, routinely setting financial goals that are in alignment with the destination to which you desire to get. It's the little things that separate the haves from the have-nots when it comes to living your best life. And goal setting is the foundation upon which you're going to continue to push forward and achieve the results that you desire that are going to get you to that life that you ultimately want to be living. The third thing that you need to do if you want to start living your best life now is you need to change your circle of influence. Look, Jim Rohn said it for a reason, that you become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Because it's so true. When we think about life, what is it that we tend to seek when it comes to the people that we hang out with? It's comfort. It's acceptance. But we also know in the juxtaposition of life that growth does not come in our comfort zone. Growth does not come in the comfort of people who are not desiring to grow. So a lot of people are trying to break out, they're trying to live their best life, yet they're surrounding themselves with people who are trying to do the exact opposite. So if you really want to start living your best life now, look at those 5 people. Look at the people who are in your circle of influence, that are having the biggest influence on who you are and the life that you're living. And ask yourself, are these people in alignment? Are they conducive to the life that I actually want to be living? Are they conducive to me living my best life? Are they conducive to me achieving my goals that I set for myself? And if they're not, you have to be willing, if living your best life is that important to you, you have to be willing to make those changes in relationships. It does not mean that you have to completely separate yourself from those people, because a lot of times the people who are the least conducive to us creating the lives that we desire are our closest friends, or they're our family members. And we don't necessarily want to cut those people completely out of our lives. But if you are passionate about living your best life, then you've got to make sure that you're being intentional about going out and bringing other people into your circle of influence that are going to have the sort of influence on you that are going to create the desired outcomes that you want in your life. One of the reasons why so few people are able to actually live out their goals and dreams and aspirations for their lives is because they're not willing to do the tough work of separating or distancing themselves from those that they love and they care about. But at the end of the day, you've got to ask yourself, when you get to the end of your life and you've got to answer to your goals and dreams and whether or not they are fulfilled, whether not doing the work in this area is worth it. Because the reality is, you're never going to break out. You're never going to achieve the growth that you desire staying in the company of people who desire the exact opposite. So look at the people again. Really get clear on, are those people the type of people that are going to walk this journey with me? And if they're not, you need to figure out ways that you can start to attract the people who are going to walk that journey with you. The fourth key to start living your best life now is to let go of the fear of failure. One of the biggest separators between people who are highly successful and those who are not, the people who live their best lives and those who do not, is that the ones who get what they want in life are able to detach from this fear of failure. They are able to reframe failure. They're able to understand that failure is not a destination. It's not a stopping point. Failure is nothing more than a learning opportunity in the mind of somebody who is highly successful. Most people, that fear of failure, that fear of judgment, which is essentially failure for most people, that's enough to keep them stopped dead in their tracks and to prevent them from pursuing what it is that they truly desire in their life. If you want to be able to break through, if you want to live your best life, you've got to be able to separate yourself from the fear of failure, because failure is going to be a part of the process. Think about it this way. If we look at the best of the best, we look at the people who have achieved at the highest levels, whether that's in sport, whether that's in business, whether that is in any area of life, in cinema, whatever it may be, music, every single one of those people who have achieved at the highest levels have failed more than the average person. It's because they put themselves out there more in order to be able to fail. But where the average person stops at the first failure, maybe even the second, those people saw that as learning opportunities, ways to grow, ways to evolve, ways to pivot. And they use those as opportunities to set themselves up for the future success that they went on to create. So ask yourself, do you have a fear of failure right now? And then from there, start to figure out, how can I reframe failure? How can I start to use failure? And if you really want to live your best life, how can you start to seek failure with the understanding that it's going to be part of the process and it's going to make you better off and allow you to actually create the type of life that you desire? And then the fifth and final way that you can start transforming your life now and get yourself on that path to living your best life is to commit to the change. Look, let's be honest. We live in a time in history where we as a society have commitment issues. We can go look at the divorce rate. We can look at the turnover rate in one's career. Those are higher than ever before. So we naturally have commitment issues in all areas of life. Well, when it comes to living our best lives, when it comes to transforming our lives, the reason why most people don't do it is because they can't commit to the change. I just talked about it earlier. Growth and accomplishment and achievement in life is a lifelong process. It never stops. You never reach the summit and then get to a point where you can stop growing. You've got to be committed to growth for the long haul. So you've got to really lock in on the commitment that you're making. You've got to be really honest with yourself and say, can I commit to actually achieving the goals and the dreams that I have for myself? When you can go in and you can really go through the process of committing and recommitting every single day in order to continue to show up and take the action despite the failures, despite the setbacks, despite all the things that we know are going to come, that's when you're going to produce the results that you desire in your life. That's when you're going to create your best life. So you've got to ask yourself, am I fully committed? Am I willing to do what it takes in order to get to where I want to go? But you will not get there if you don't commit to the change. All right, so there you have it. Those are the 5 things that you can start doing right now to transform your life. Like I said, these things are so near and dear to my heart because I had to walk these things personally. These were things that I had to do in my life in order to get on the path to where I ultimately want to be. So let me know in the comments below which one of these most resonates with you. Which one of these is something that you think you need to start doing in your life right now in order to get to that ultimate destination that you have laid out for yourself. And also, I want to tell you about another great opportunity to be able to connect with like-minded men and women, and that is joining our free Facebook community. You can click on the link above or down in the description below to get into the company of other passionate men and women who right now are trying to transform their lives, who are doing these 5 things in order to be able to create the best life that they absolutely want to be living. So I would encourage you to come and join us inside of this community. And with that being said, that concludes this video. Hop on over to lifehack.org for more great tips, tools, and resources just like this, or stay tuned for the next video.